Okay, let's get going.
Yeah, we like movies.
Movies are good. Yeah, I like movies too. Welcome to Late to the Movies. My name's Ben Holt. This is a podcast where me and my friends get to fill in our movie blind spots. Week by week, we'll pick a movie that at least one of us, hasn't seen before. And I say at least because I think a bunch of us on this one haven't seen. This week's movie, we're in the midst of the Christmas season. So this week's movie is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation from 1989, I believe.
Yeah.
The new person of the movie is everyone but Noah. This is the first time for me,
Oh, you haven't
Greg,
seen it?
and Ray.
Oh,
No, I haven't seen it.
I didn't know you
I
hadn't
didn't
seen
know
it.
you hadn't seen it.
Oh, I'm
I know. It's a
excited.
fun
Yeah.
surprise,
Oh,
right?
wow.
That's interesting.
So,
That's cool.
Greg.
So Noah will be hosting.
Noah's hosting. Hey, Noah, how's it going?
Hey, good.
Good,
This is
good.
Late to the Movies.
Yeah, good to have you back. It's the same crew that did the first Christmas movie this season. That was the Muppet Christmas Carol. And left to right across your podcast dial, it's Noah, Ray, and Greg. What's up, guys?
Hey,
Not
what's
much.
up?
Hey.
Excited to talk about the movie.
Excited to talk about the movie, but before we get into National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, as always, we start with talking about, I don't know, what are you guys watching? Anything fun lately? It's been, I don't know, probably, 3 weeks since we recorded? 2 weeks? Who knows?
Oh, we watched that new movie on Netflix about the gay couple at Christmas.
Getting into the Christmas
Oh.
spirit. Single all the way.
Single all the way.
Oh, I saw
Oh.
that.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I didn't
very
see it, but-
clearly like, oh, it's a Hallmark movie, but they're like, we're going to do two gay guys and make it by Netflix.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
How was it?
it's exactly how you'd think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't really watch it. I saw some of it.
Last year, Hulu had the lesbian Christmas movie. So
Oh.
Netflix has the gay man Christmas movie this year.
So you started watching without me, so I wasn't really paying attention when I hopped in later, and I just kept making comments like, oh my God, he's with this other guy. I thought he was going to end up with his best friend that he keeps talking about this whole time and acting like I was surprised at the Hallmark plot. And I thought I was funny.
We had a
That's
good
pretty
time
fun.
with it. I was like, no, he's not going to. They're just friends. They're roommates. They've been together for 8 years as just friends, Greg.
Yes.
That's how it's going to
They're
stay.
going to stay just friends.
Yes, I went to bed before it was over and I was like, I'm going to bed. I'm tired. But if he ends up getting together with the roommate, wake me up. I got to hear about this.
You'll never guess what happened.
So that I'm actually kind of excited for Spider-Man.
I'm really excited for Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, that's week after next week? Is it the week after that? It's soon, I know.
I don't know. When I say I'm excited,
I shouldn't say that because this episode isn't coming out for another 9 days after we record it. So.
when I say I'm excited, I don't mean like I'm gonna go see it as soon as it comes out kind of thing. But I even feel bad about being excited for it because obviously Marvel did their thing. They keep putting out their trailers like, "Ooh, is Tobey Maguire going to be in this? You don't know. You have to come see it." And I'm like, "Okay, I get what you're doing. It's stupid. It doesn't work." And then I saw like 3 trailers and I'm like, "Okay, fine, it works. I want to see the movie." You fucking got
I
me.
knew it would.
Yeah, that's how they do. Yeah. I kind of feel, I think, a similar way, which is like, I mean, they got Melina back. They got Willem Dafoe back. So I got to do it.
Yeah. And I thought I was pulled out of Marvel. Like I was like, this is too much. I enjoyed Endgame.
Just
then
when you
it's
thought
like,
you were out.
yeah, then they are like, you know what? Just keep slamming us with movies and TV shows. And I haven't watched like anything since Endgame. And I'm like, I think that's the end for me. And then this one, I'm like, no.
You didn't watch the last Spider-Man?
I did. Yeah, that came out like right after Endgame, right? I saw that one.
Yeah.
I think that was my last Marvel movie I saw.
Marvel is really milking it, though.
It's too much.
It is.
It's
it
too
does,
much.
It does seem like too
It,
much.
it feels crazy because they took like an 18-month break between that and Black Widow.
Yes.
But it already feels again like, oh my God, another Marvel movie.
Yeah.
It's too much for me.
Yeah.
Even though since they started making them again, putting them out again was what, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and Eternals? Is that all that's been out since pandemic?
Yeah, and then the
Am I
TV
missing
shows.
some?
Because I think
Oh,
there was
yeah,
like,
'cause the
what,
TV
4
shows,
TV
yeah.
shows since then, too? I
It's
think.
a
Oh
lot.
my god.
There's a lot.
That's a good point. Yeah, I forgot about the TV show.
So 3 movies and 4 TV shows. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Who can keep up with that?
No one.
Not DC.
Not a single person.
What's DC up to? What are they working on?
The Batman.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes, yeah.
And they had the Suicide Squad over the summer. The Suicide
right.
Squad was over the summer.
Wonder
That
Woman
was good.
2 came out sometime during the pandemic.
did.
Last
years.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was the second Christmas in a row where someone is in embarrassingly bad CGI cat makeup, and then someone speaks directly to the camera at the end of the movie, and it's also very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I heard
Two
that wasn't
Christmases in
good.
a row. Why? How is that a Christmas thing?
What's
I don't know
coming
why.
this Christmas?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, someone's going to be terrible cat CGI, and then Spider-Man's going to turn and embarrassingly speak directly to camera.
Can't wait.
I am really hoping now. Last thing on movies, Christmas season. We haven't really. This is the start of it for us. I guess it was Muppets too. Love Christmas movies. Trying to get some in right around now.
It's a good time for it. The sun goes down at like 3 p.m., so you might as well turn on some movies.
We usually do Elf every year.
We tried to get our daughter to watch Muppets after we did our episode, and she told us no, they sing bad.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
she
a
said
direct
sing
quote.
bad.
Sing bad.
Because we told her, we were like, no, watch
Everyone's
it.
a critic, dang.
She could not get through the intro. We're like, no, keep watching. They're going to sing because she loves it when people sing in movies.
Yeah.
And as soon as they started singing, she listened to it for 30 seconds and goes, no, sing bad. Sing
Oh, man.
bad. No.
Oh, wow.
I was like, wow.
That's too bad.
Harsh.
That's like the one thing you liked about the movie.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I disagree with her on that.
Yeah. Well, it's good to know when your kid's wrong, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's a better transition than I was anticipating, because what I most recently saw was earlier today. I saw the new West Side Story, and people singing that too.
Oh.
Did they sing bad?
No.
Okay, good.
Was it actually good?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was so
Wow.
fucking good.
I know you were really nervous about it.
Yeah, because I don't know. I haven't really loved a Steven Spielberg movie for a few years, at least. And I was thinking back on, okay, if this is as good as people are saying it is, what is it the best Spielberg movie since? And I guess your mileage will vary on if you really liked Bridge of Spies and Lincoln in the last few years. But 2002, he had Minority Report and Catch Me If You Can, both of which are awesome movies. So it might be since that. It might be like almost 20 years.
Wow.
I did not like Ready Player One for his more recent stuff. So
Oh, I didn't realize that was him. Yeah.
right. That's not good that you didn't realize it's a Spielberg movie.
I like that movie. That was good.
It was fun. Like,
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah,
It was fun. Fun's a
Yeah.
good way to put it.
But it's just like, hey, remember this? Like, yeah, I remember that. Thanks, Steve. And he's like, how about this? You remember this? It's like, yeah, no, I remember that too. I remember that.
Well, see, that's good because I always get nervous about the musicals for the
Yeah.
Oscars.
Oh yeah, no, you'll like it. I don't know. It's West Side Story. So if you like West Side Story, you like this.
I don't think I even know anything about West Side Story.
Okay, well, the first movie came out 60 years ago to the year 1961. It won 10 Academy Awards. Rita Moreno won Best Supporting Actress in it. She's in this one again as a different character.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's the first one's really good. This one's really good too. It's just like, you know, you're like, oh yeah, Steven Spielberg, still really freaking good. It's really good. Yeah, go see it. It's in theaters.
I'll
now.
probably see it.
You didn't see it in like middle school or high school or anything?
No, did they make us watch like our high school put it on as a play at one point? Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, so one of the main criticisms for the 1961 one that this one does what it can to correct is that it's a lot of white people with pretty big accents doing the Puerto Rican characters. So our school put it on, and as you know, no Puerto Rican people went to our school, which is about 98% white. So I guess as bad as 1961's West Side Story holds up, Somerset High School's 2007 production probably doesn't hold up very well either. I played a Puerto Rican person in that one.
You did?
Yeah, with my orange beard. I don't know. I in my defense, I did ask to be a Jet, and they said no. So the Jets have more songs, so I just think they didn't think I had the capacity. But
Who's the other gang?
Jets and Sharks. The Sharks are the Puerto Rican gang. And yeah, so I mean, there are still some photos from that production, and I think I probably have a DVD of it, but it's probably like disqualifying from holding any office. It's very racist, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I remember thinking at the time, hey, I don't want to be part of this, but the teachers made us do it. They seem to be very into the idea, so I don't know.
Feels like a problem.
Yeah.
It did at the time, too. It definitely did at the time.
And you look back at it and you're like, wow, it's a bigger problem now.
Yeah, it's a bigger problem now. Other stuff I'm watching, there's a YouTube channel called Defunct Land that is really good if you're into any theme park stuff or even just like short documentaries. He actually just put out a feature-length video on YouTube. I think it's like an hour and 40 minutes long on the science of lines, like waiting in line. It's a lot more interesting than it sounds. And then also the Beatles Get Back on Disney Plus. It's like 9 hours long. I'm into the third episode. It's really good.
So for the next episode of this podcast, right? We all watched that movie of West Side Story, not the Steven Spielberg with the Somerset High School one.
Yes.
If I find the DVD, I'll try and
We all watch
like.
it. Throw it on the
No, I
Instagram
should
so the viewers
qualify,
can
like-
watch it as well.
No one's in
this
no one's in like brown face, but everyone's doing accents, and I remember feeling uncomfortable about that.
Yeah, that's not good.
Can we get a
It's not
taste of?
No, 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 you cannot.
All right, we'll have to wait for the movie.
Yeah,
That's one I haven't seen too. So
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I can be the one who hasn't seen it on that episode.
there you go. But yeah, no, this version's a lot better that Steven Spielberg just put out. So check that out. And with that, let's get into National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So Noah, you had seen this before. I think you said this is one of your favorite Christmas movies, right?
yeah, I've seen this many times.
Yeah. What is it about it that you keep coming back to?
It's one of those movies that's like a family tradition for us to watch
Oh,
it.
sure.
I think it was like when it came out, it's like very much my dad's style of comedy. So we just kind of took to it and kept watching it every single year with our family. So it's a tradition. And I like the comedy in it, so
Yeah.
Holds a special place in your heart.
it does.
What did you guys know about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation before watching it?
So I knew he ties a tree to the car because I've
Okay.
seen the car as like Christmas ornaments and decorations and things like that with the big tree on it.
Did you think it'd be a bigger part of the movie, seeing all
I
the merch
thought
about it?
It was going to be a bigger part of the movie because basically the
Not
only
just
thing.
like one shot of the tree on the car from behind for 7 seconds.
Yes. So the only like thing I've seen like merchandise wise is this car with the tree on it. Nothing else from the movie. So I knew about that, and then I feel like I've seen pictures of Chevy Chase's face because he makes a lot of interesting faces. But I don't know if every time I've seen him it was from like this movie because I knew it was like in a series, but I thought it was one of those like
Yeah.
not really very connected kind of series, and that's about it.
So, I actually tried to watch this movie. It was either this last year or the year before because it was on HBO or something, and it was Christmas time. I'm like, hey, I haven't seen it. Let's put this on. And it starts with that like Santa Claus animation of just Santa getting the
Long
shit beat out of him.
animation.
Yeah,
Long-
and it was
pretty long.
really, really long, and I didn't enjoy it at all. And I was like, you know what?
Wow.
No, I'm gonna put on something else. I don't know what this is leading up to, but I don't like it.
Oh, the other
So
thing
that's what I knew about it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize until it happened in the movie, the end scene, like as the windows break, I was like, oh, I've seen this part.
Oh yeah.
Like as soon as the windows like break, I was like, I've seen this part actually.
Nice. I am familiar with the Vacation franchise in that I've seen the first one, and for some reason, Vegas Vacation was on TV all the time when we were growing up. So I've seen that multiple times just because like it's on. And I knew about Chevy Chase obviously being the, I don't know if core is the right word, but whatever, the star of the series. And just knowing generally about Chevy Chase, I guess, is the main thing here. I wasn't sure what the chronology was of the Vacation movies. This one's the third one after the first one. It's just National Lampoon's Family Vacation, and then European Vacation, then Christmas Vacation, then Vegas Vacation. Then I think there's a short somewhere in 2010-ish, I want to say. Then 2015 is the Ed Helms Vacation. I don't know if any of you guys saw that one.
I don't know like any of
I
these.
saw that one.
Oh, okay.
I know nothing.
Well,
Wait,
you should,
is that-
you should be
oh, no.
familiar with the Christmas Vacation one.
What's the one with? I don't think this is one of the vacations, but the one with Jennifer Aniston. I think Ed Helms is in that too.
Is that the
They go on a road trip or something.
The Ed
Or something
Helms
on
one?
drugs.
It's him and Christina Applegate's like the.
Oh, that's
What am
Meet-
I
Meet
thinking
the
of?
Millers? Is
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
something
so.
like that, right?
Yep, that sounds
I think
right.
that's I think so.
I don't know,
No.
something
Yeah. So the 2015 one, Ed Helms plays a grown-up version of the kid
We're the
from the
Millers?
first movies.
Something with the Millers, right?
Something
Oh,
about
that's what I
Millers.
thought.
Okay.
I didn't think that was that Ed Helms? I don't think was it?
Was it Sudeikis? Are you confused?
It had
Yeah.
Jennifer
Oh,
Aniston.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they
Yeah.
get in the RV and they
Yeah,
drive to
yeah,
Mexico.
yeah.
Yeah.
Totally unrelated. Sorry.
Yep.
Noah and I are on the same page. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe in the literal sense unrelated, but probably thematically, I haven't seen it, but I imagine fairly related to stuff in the Vacation series.
Yeah. It's probably a lot of crossover.
So the other Vacation movies are all road trip movies, or plane trip, I guess, in European one. Does this count as a vacation? It's my first question about this movie.
Okay, we wondered the same thing.
Because it's in their house.
They don't go anywhere.
They don't go anywhere.
Except to get the tree.
That's true. Yeah.
But that seems like an afternoon. It's not like a vacation.
It's a vacation for the people that come to visit them, though.
Is that established? Because we don't know how far away they're going.
Yeah, but they're not. Well, at least one family's. They can't be from like around the corner. Cousin Eddie, they got to be from like.
Well, they don't have a home anymore, so technically they're just like right outside.
So does
their
that?
house.
So are they always vacationing or never vacationing?
As long as they're within sight of their RV, I think they're not on vacation.
I don't know. I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like wherever they go.
So yeah, that was my question. Is the vacation?
Yeah.
Is the titular vacation referring to that of the weirdo supporting hanger-ons that come to their house?
So I was also thinking,
Because the Griswold family is not on vacation in this movie.
my thought is a lot of people just take time off around the holidays, and you say like, I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
Like,
See,
I'm
I was
on vacation
thinking-
that week.
I was thinking
Yeah.
that too, but like Christmas vacation is like after Christmas, right? It's between Christmas and New Year's. Like if you're talking about Christmas vacation, right?
No, it doesn't have to.
Yeah, these people get here on like December 16th, I think. Is
Yeah,
what it
it's like
says.
mid-December this starts. So I don't think that's Christmas vacation.
He's still
yet.
going to work while these people are just in his
Oh,
house,
No, I
that's
don't
true.
call that vacation.
just
right?
eating breakfast and stuff.
But every other movie in the series is called Vacation, right?
I
Yeah,
just
So
assumed
I
it was
think
like
just the
it's
third
as simple
one.
as that. They're not.
It's just
that-
like, oh, we got a good idea about this, and we don't
Could've made
want
a little
to.
bit more of an effort to tie in that theme.
I
Right?
did not care about that at all. I was
I
like,
would
oh,
say
it's probably
Home
that's-
Alone is more of a vacation movie because at least most of the characters go on
They
vacation.
go on a Christmas
A
vacation.
lot of the
yes.
characters are on vacation.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that vacation?
Okay, I think this is not key to the
No,
story
it's not.
or the comedy or.
Ben thinks that's important.
It's the only note I have. No,
How do we stretch this into an
we
hour?
stretch this into an hour. No, I got a lot to talk about. So let's with that out of the way until we bring it up again. Greg, do you want to give us a plot summary? Let me check. Yes, it is recording.
Oh, okay. Sure. I don't have a good one lined up for this, honestly, but
That's all right.
we have our family, the Griswolds. Starts with them going out to pick out their tree. The dad, Chevy Chase, is very much a comedy family dad. I feel like pretty typical of what you'd see in a movie like this 30 years ago. And we just kind of follow his antics as he decides to have his whole family, in-laws all come to his house for Christmas vacation, like you said, starting around the 16th. And it is just kind of a lot of slapstick nonsense hilarity going on, everything kind of going wrong for him as has this like great vision of how awesome this is going to be in his head until it kind of comes to a boiling point when he kind of snaps and things just go over the top. And it ends with a SWAT team raiding his house. And then he realizes that, this is still a great vacation. And Christmas is what you make of it kind of thing. And it's a happy Christmas movie by the end. A lot of it is him chasing a Christmas bonus he's so convinced he's going to get that he has already spent it all. Like money he does not have. And he mentions that this check is going to bounce if he doesn't get this Christmas bonus that he's waiting for, which he obviously is. Everyone, all of the audience is aware this is not coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's essentially it. I mean, it's a comedy that basically takes place in one house for almost the whole runtime of the 97 minutes. Yeah, I hadn't seen this before, but like I said, I'd seen the other vacation movies, and for all his foibles, I do like Chevy Chase in this mode, so I enjoyed it. Not that we're wrapping up, but
So, going in, I'm like 50-50. I feel like maybe half
Okay.
the comedy landed for me, but it's a comedy. There's a lot in there. So it's not like I was bored or anything. It was like enjoyable enough. I think some of it is a little too slapsticky and some of it is just like it's kind of old. Some of it's a little bit of like outdated comedy that it doesn't really work as well today.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt about it too. And like, there was parts that I laughed. Like I thought it was
For sure.
There was
There's some
definitely
parts
parts
that
that I thought were
killed me.
really funny. But then there was other parts where I was just kind of like groaning and rolling my eyes, kind of thing. So
So like my sixth note is, Julia Louis-Dreyfus is here and is immediately sexually harassed.
Yes.
I thought the same thing.
Yes.
Just immediately.
In a classic,
I don't think
like,
she's had a line yet at that point. She just goes like, "Oh, there he is,"
Yep.
yes.
and he immediately sexually harasses her. But that's our hero.
Is she like? Are those neighbor characters in other vacation movies?
No idea, and I will not look it up.
Okay.
Noah, do you know?
I think this is the only vacation movie I've seen. So don't
We
ask
assumed
me.
that they had to be because otherwise this was just a really weird.
Well,
introduction
on
to people.
they're not usually in their own house on vacation, so how would we know?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true.
Unless it starts or ends in their house. And to be honest with you, I don't have a great memory for them.
So, not totally related to the movie, but I think good thing to get into immediately.
Yeah.
The cousin-in-law, right?
Eddie,
Eddie. Yep.
he's in other ones.
So the thing we immediately notice is he's the crazy guy in Independence Day, I think.
The pilot.
The pilot who was actually abducted by aliens and everyone doesn't believe him. And then the aliens show up and they're like, oh shit, this guy probably was abducted by aliens.
So that's Randy Quaid.
I haven't seen Independence Day in a very long time.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say ever.
Oh,
He's
no.
the crazy dad. He like sacrifices himself in the end. He's not really crazy because he was probably abducted by aliens. I guess they don't clarify. Maybe he wasn't.
He's drunk all the time.
But and I
Sounds like
cannot
his
remember
character in
the
this movie.
actor-
It's like the same character, yeah.
He
That's
just
how I
gets
immediately
typecasted.
noticed. I was like, wait a minute.
That's what Randy
Yeah.
Quaid do.
I cannot remember the actor's name I'm thinking of. For anyone who's seen The Office, Todd Packer, right?
Oh, that's
Oh, I know who. Yeah, he's also an
That's a
anchorman.
different guy.
Yes. No. I feel like his whole acting career, he saw this movie and was like, I'm just going to play
That's pretty.
Eddie
Yeah.
in every movie ever. This
Yeah.
is what I want to
Yeah.
do. I want to be
I
Eddie in
could
every
see
movie
that.
I've ever been in.
I could see
And
that.
that's what he does. He's just like, he just plays this character in every other movie he's ever been in.
What's
Krampus,
that?
actor?
he's like
Really
that
fucking
exact
bother,
same
right?
character.
It's got like
Oh,
a K
that
in
was a
it.
good movie.
I enjoyed Krampus.
But
I
he's,
forgot what it
he's
was.
just, he is
Yeah.
literally just Eddie in that
But he
movie.
does play that character.
He
He's
plays
the
Eddie.
exact same character, and it's a Christmas.
And Todd Packer in The Office isn't that
That's a
much
good
different than Eddie. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot that actor's name, but he always plays a
And
character.
he plays the same guy in Anchorman too. Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw Eddie, I was like, oh my God, another actor based his whole career.
Keckner. I knew it had a K in it. David Keckner.
Never have guessed that.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell me he's not just Eddie in every single
Yeah, that's sort of just the vibe he brings to his roles.
Yes. I did
He's
like
not in this film, but we can continue talking about
I know. I just like, as soon as I saw Eddie, I was like, this is that guy. This is him.
Yeah, I can see Keckner gets a lot of that. So that's Randy Quaid. Randy Quaid's kind of gone full weirdo at this point in time. But
He got too inside the character, I think.
I guess
Stuck
so.
that way now.
That's obviously Dennis Quaid's brother. Dennis Quaid, normal guy.
But yeah, so I liked Eddie. I think the worst scene in the whole movie is Chevy Chase talking to the department store girl.
It's horrible. There was
That didn't age well.
it aged so badly.
Well, it's basically the typical like dad sees this attractive woman at a department store when he's supposed to be buying something for his wife, and he's just like keeps accidentally saying like nipple and like weird semi-sexualized words to this woman.
She's
so much.
like
So much.
she's picking up what he's putting down though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
His wife's dead now.
Yeah.
This like
No, she's
A-
not dead. They're just divorced.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
yeah.
A+ family
rest her
man.
soul.
Good job.
Yeah, the one thing I did like out of that scene is up to that point, they kept mentioning how Chevy Chase is a family man and things like that. And
Yeah.
this is the first, like, they show you, like, oh, okay, he is until this attractive department store girl is here, and then his wife's dead or
Yeah.
Just
divorced.
likes to
or,
harass poor people that are at work.
you know, I was like, this poor
It's real
lady's
nice.
just trying to work.
And then what I do like about that scene, and I don't believe it's intended to be taken that way, but we should mention the kids in this movie are Juliette Lewis and Johnny Galecki. It's a different pair of kids in every movie.
Really?
Yep, it literally five mainline vacation movies, five different sets of kids.
Do they ever acknowledge it?
I guess I don't know.
I wonder why.
I guess we said we haven't really
Are
seen
these
the other
movies
ones.
far
so.
apart?
No.
Hmm.
No, first one's 83. This is the third one. It's 89.
Well, still 6 years. That's a
Well,
lot.
there's another one in between.
There's one in between, though.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, are the kids the same age in all the movies?
You think it's like a Simpsons thing? Like they're always the same age?
No, like they didn't want their next movie to have teenagers instead of kind of thing. You know what I mean?
They
So
didn't
like,
want the Stranger Thing problem?
yeah, so
Yeah,
they just change out the
that makes
actors.
sense.
They're like, it's
Stranger
comedy. No
Thing,
one's gonna
sorry.
care.
I don't know what Stranger Thing is just making it singular sound so weird.
It's a strange.
Anyway,
thing.
that's Johnny Galecki from Big Bang Theory in there as the kid.
Oh,
Okay.
huh.
He has glasses
Yeah.
in your mind. But he walks over and he's like looking for his dad in the department store, and he like looks and he sees him across the room, and the girl's like modeling lingerie for him or whatever.
That was so
Yes.
weird.
So weird.
And this what he's like 10 years old. This like 10-year-old kid gives a look like dad's at it again.
Yeah. That part, I was like, oh, okay.
Can't see the line.
It's like, wow, this happens all the time. And he just strolls up and just undercuts it pretty well. Like this kind of thing happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that didn't age great. I feel like that was like pretty typical comedy at that
it's
time period.
Just
But
the 80s.
yeah, it's fine.
It was, but it was not enjoyable.
No, it wasn't like an enjoyable scene.
And not even like in one of those, I don't know, sometimes you watch modern comedies and like the whole thing is based off of like cringe humor, right? But like, I feel like this was like 10 times worse because it's like, oh wow, this was funny 30 years ago. It's not funny now.
I still think it was kind of funny, but I
It's a
think
little funny.
yeah, because of I don't know.
So, what do you guys think of all the like the acting Chevy Chase does with his face?
It's Chevy Chase. So my first note in the movie, besides begins with a very long animated sequence, is Chevy Chase is playing the character that Chevy Chase always plays, which is Chevy Chase. And then the subnote is so is Juliette Lewis, who is the daughter, who's doing her kind of disaffected and sarcastic thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's just Chevy Chase's thing, man. You like it or you don't, and he does the same thing every movie he's in.
I didn't mind it. Sometimes it was
fine.
funny.
Yeah.
We did notice that there was a couple times. Who did it remind you of?
I said Jack Torrance in The Shining.
Every now and then, because especially towards the end when he
Towards
is
the
like
end,
at
yeah.
his breaking point, you know what I mean?
He's
With
really
the-
losing it. Yeah.
Where he's really losing it. Yeah, we're at the threshold of hell. He'll make some faces where you can tell like he's real crazy looking. And she mentioned that he's like, oh, he looks like the dad from The Shining, and I was like, he fucking does look
I
like
think he
him.
was mentally there at that point.
I think he was. It was supposed
ready
to
to
be
kill.
like that.
It
But
was supposed to be.
I
And
don't
I
know.
like that a
By
lot.
the time I got to that point in the movie, I'm like, oh man, this is the family man. But like behind the scenes, he's probably like beating his wife or something.
He's a very intense dude, no doubt. Yeah, but I mean that's the whole thing with the vacation movies. It's just him, like, oh, this is gonna be, we have a perfect family, everything's gonna go great, and then stuff blows up and he doesn't deal with it well.
Maybe
It's-
I was in a bad mindset when I started watching this thing. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe. It's not just that stuff doesn't go well; it's how it affects the character, which is always he can't handle it. And he gets all bug-eyed and like plastered on smile and gets really intense and unblinking.
I mean,
I never noticed that. Just like how much of that he put into his facial expressions. I don't
a
know
lot
if
of it's
I
with his
picked up on
face,
that.
and
Yeah,
it is.
you're right.
Some when it lands, it's really good. I feel like.
Yeah.
But I mean, what is he thinking? Like, who's like, I want my parents, my in-laws, and then like extended like aunts and stuff to come over on 2 weeks, like 2 weeks before Christmas, and just live at my house.
It does sound like a nightmare.
Yeah, and his wife tells him
Threshold of
that,
hell.
right?
Yeah.
His wife tells him that, and
He's like, "This is
"You're
gonna,
building this up in
this is
your
gonna
head."
suck."
Yeah, this is not gonna be.
I just don't want you to be disappointed when this inevitably goes horrible.
She knew.
She did.
Yeah. So the thing for him is you get that sequence where he's stuck in the attic watching old movies. So it's him trying to recapture how it was when he was a kid, because he's a, stunted growth kind of man baby, right?
Yes.
So he's just trying to recreate what it was like when he was
Who
a kid.
is it with his mom? I think there's a point. I think when they're looking at the lights, and his wife comes over to like hug him and like embrace him a bit, and he like pulls his mom in instead.
Yeah.
And the scene is just him like
The
bringing
wife
his
is
mom
kind of
close.
edged out.
And the wife is like slowly getting like edged out between his face and like his I think it's his mom's
Yep.
face.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. We should mention that's Beverly D'Angelo. She's the wife in all of these movies. She's great. She's really good.
Her
I
face
liked
in
her a
that
lot.
scene is real good.
Yeah.
She's
She's making
awesome.
like this awkward face, like she can tell like this is really weird.
Substantially hotter than that character needed to be. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, we immediately mentioned like, whoa, look at what she's wearing to like
Right,
the
yeah.
family dinner. Like, whoa,
Yeah,
okay.
it's like a big cutout in the front of that shirt.
Yeah.
I think you had said something too about like because the lady in the department store is like, yeah, but he's got a wicked hot wife.
Yeah, he's like bumbling over this department store lady. I'm like, dude, his wife's so hot. What is it? What?
Yeah, what do you need this lady?
Yeah.
for?
Yeah,
That's a good point.
The rest
Yeah.
of her outfit was cute though. I liked her skirt.
yeah, it was a nice outfit.
But I like that she doesn't have to play necessarily put upon. She usually plays like in on the joke of whatever's happening to her husband. Kind
She
of.
handled everything very well.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I like that she gets like some notes to play, which is besides just kind of like, oh, this again.
Yeah.
And here she is, and she never nags. She's like, yeah, this is gonna suck. Let's get after it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like the part where
she's a good
she's
sport.
Yeah.
where she's in the kitchen, she's like chopping the vegetables. You can see how stressed she is, and she lights up
Yeah.
a cigarette. Her mom immediately is like, "Are you smoking again?"
Yeah,
She's
that's
like,
funny.
"No."
That's good shit.
We thought it was so funny because at that scene, right, she's in there like suffering with the in-laws and her parents together, and he's outside stringing Christmas lights, and our brother-in-law does that. Like whenever we all come over, he's outside doing something. Last time he was outside stringing Christmas lights, like the
nice.
whole time we were there, because like, oh man, the screaming, I can't deal with all the kids running
These
around.
and at one point his wife asked him about it too. She's like, "Are you out? Like, well, are you doing this right now just because you don't want to be inside?" He's like, No. I got a couple hundred more lights to check out."
Literally the same line, right?
Yeah.
That's great.
That's why I didn't put those two and two together. What he's doing all this just so he can get away from
Yep.
the crazy ass family.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's kind of obsessed with it, but it's not like he starts before they get there.
Yeah,
their build up on a couple things is pretty good too. Like
Oh god, a lot of things.
the lights, like because you know something's gonna go wrong with the lights, but there's and that's a scene that's been done a million times since then, and I don't know, probably before. But you just don't know what's gonna go wrong with these lights, so you're like waiting the whole time for like this whole house to burn down or something, and then they do the same thing with the sewer gas.
Oh yeah.
Because as soon as he mentions
Yes.
it, like, oh, if someone lights something near there, then like that's it. After that, I noticed there's got to be 8 times someone lights something like right near there.
Yeah.
In the rest of the movie, they just keep making people light shit, and I'm like, oh my god, because you know something's coming, and you're just waiting for it.
Yeah, it's very funny. It's not even like Chekhov's gun. It's like Chekhov's neon sign that's just telling you like, hey, this is gonna explode real big.
Is it right now?
And there's
Oh, it's not right
and then
now.
there's one time that eventually the Lewis guy sets the tree on fire, and you're like, oh, I guess that was it. And it's like,
Yes. No, this
no,
one.
there's a bigger one coming.
Oh no, yeah, you're not there yet.
Not there yet. So this is pretty scattershot so far, which I feel like is fine for this movie.
Yeah.
Before we get too far from it, so the light thing is one of the ones that is the most build up and then pay off, and then it pays off in a bunch of different ways. When the lights eventually do work, it fakes out like you're not actually going to get the lights working while Clark's out there. He goes away, the lights work, and then by the time he comes back, they don't. But then the sequence keeps going and eventually does work, and the lights are so bright that you're cutting between the people in the front yard looking at the lights and the Julia Louis-Dreyfus and her kind of like really slicked back hair at all hours of the day boyfriend guy.
Todd.
Todd, her probably husband, I guess. They're just trying to do their weird bougie stuff. And they keep alternately getting blinded by the lights and then just completely in darkness anytime they try and do something.
They were such weird characters.
They were so
It's really
weird.
weird, but I liked that.
Side characters.
I liked that sequence where like the lights are happening and they're just like completely getting their shit wrecked over and
Yeah.
over again in different ways.
I
Which like
like
they
the
could
whole
just
light
stop
sequence.
moving. I
Yeah,
guess.
it's just so the whole movie is just so over the top. But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Them just talking about the lights in general too, when he's like, it's 200 strands of like 100 lights, and he's like, you gotta check every bulb though.
Yeah.
Yep.
One's out.
One's out. They're all out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of different people tell him that. And he's like, I know. I checked every one. I thought I did.
I checked them all. Also, he says that right after he mentions it's 20,000 light bulbs too. He's like, I know. I individually checked every one of them.
Impossible.
I remember that being a thing growing up. Like, yeah, if one goes out, they all go out.
Mhm.
It's like, man, these are cheap ass lights. One fun cutaway gag that's literally just a couple seconds, and it's just like pretty funny. While the lights are on and everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's so bright," there's like a really quick cutaway to some just a hand in assuming some, energy facility or whatever that just like
Yes.
flips a big switch on auxiliary nuclear energy.
That was great.
That's pretty funny.
It was really
Oh,
funny.
I really like that same time too. They do a little cutaway to his electric meter. It's spinning.
And it's just spinning. Yeah.
Wicked fast.
Yeah, see, that was the type of comedy in this movie that really landed with me. I really enjoyed stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that feels like really lampoony. That's their good shit. I like how much his boss is just like such a business guy, just like the stereotypical late '80s business guy.
Oh, what gift did he give them? Did he give the boss?
Whatever it was, everyone else gave him the same,
same
thing.
thing,
which
yeah.
I thought that was really funny.
It was
I
really
never-
funny, and it was kind of subtle. Like you didn't. It's really easy to miss it, but
Yeah.
I really want to know what was in the box.
Yeah,
It's
because
very funny.
He
That there's
brings
a whole
the
table of exactly the same
Yeah.
shape.
he brings the gift in the boss office, and he's like, "Put it with the rest." And it's like a weird shape. It's like an L-shaped gift.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And every single other gift is exactly the same. I also like when he thanks.
like
thanks-
alcohol and a thing of golf balls or something.
Oh,
Maybe.
maybe yeah.
I also like when he thanks the boss for the Christmas card, like in front of everybody. He's like, "What the fuck's this guy talking about?" He's like, "A company card. Everyone gets."
Oh, yeah. He sent you what? Oh, yeah, okay. And now he never remembers his name. He always calls him like Greaseball or like,
Will one time.
yeah, it's other random stuff.
Man, yeah. Yeah, so that whole thing. So one of the fun things that runs through this movie, watching it today, is this kind of late 80s into early 90s over mass consumption capitalist thing where, this is a couple years after the Wall Street movie comes out in 1987. I think I just looked up, not something I know off the top of my head. And it's just guys vaguely doing business in McMansions in suburban Chicago. And that's just like what movies are for a while here. And it's always like everyone in it's white. Maybe some of the service people aren't, like the cop at the end is black, but everyone's white. They all live in these massive houses. They all feel like they have money problems. And yeah, just he's in some kind of vague business.
Yeah.
What's his
Is it
job?
advertising?
No, because
He
makes-
actually had like the
It's like
He does something for
chemical
cereal.
facility or
food
something.
preservatives or something.
Because the thing he's
Yeah.
pitching is like a coating you put on the cereal so that the
right.
milk doesn't
Right.
get absorbed into it too
Which
quickly.
is a good idea.
But also
He
they
says
do
specifically what it is, like when he first starts talking about work. But
Yeah.
I
That's
can't
right.
remember what it was.
What-
It,
Whatever
it
it is.
feels like the same job that Chandler has. That like I know he told me it, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever it is to it, it also is some
Chandler
kind
and
of
Friends, not just someone we know named Chandler. Just
good clarification. A lot of Chandlers out there.
And I know that's like almost 10 years later, but you know what I mean. That kind of vibe.
Yeah, whatever it is, they also sell some kind of like grease or lubricant or something because he puts it on the bottom of his sled.
I think that was the
Yeah.
The coating for
cereal
the
thing.
cereal.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he says no one's tested it before.
Oh yeah.
You should not be putting that on cereal.
No, definitely not. It made his sled explode.
I really enjoyed that scene too.
I was gonna
That
say
seems really fun.
I didn't like that
I
one.
didn't like it.
You didn't?
No.
I like knew it was
Skidding across
coming.
the highway.
That
Skating
got
across the highway was kind of funny, but
yeah,
like-
just classic comedy joke heightening.
Yeah.
yes.
Where it's like, oh, obviously it's setting up for this is going to go really badly for him because it's like a long thing of him putting it on the bottom and really talking up. And he's like about to set a land speed record and doing like the thing that dads do where he's like, up next. What?
Yeah.
And I loved that it immediately cuts away to like a wide shot of the whole hill and you just see an explosion.
I did like that there
I
was
did-
And then he
an
just
explosion.
He's just fucking hauling
that was
ass.
But it was just really long and of him just like spinning around and stuff. I think it didn't. I knew how it was gonna go. I was like, he's gonna go way too fast. It's gonna be like
Yeah, it was
you
kind
know
of just like, okay, we're
80s
doing
styled
Yeah.
like
It was predictable.
effects of like him going way too fast.
Yeah.
But there were a couple parts. The explosion like caught me off guard, and him going down the highway I kind of liked. But any of the other parts of him like going through like the snowbanks and crashing into that stuff, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, let's keep going here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that he didn't lose any speed going across the highway. He
No.
was just like, setting all
I
crazy
did
sparks
like
behind him.
that they bring the sled back later on, though. I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
noticed that.
Oh yeah.
One
Oh.
random part, someone picks it up
At the
in
side of the road or whatever.
I don't remember. Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
remember where. Someone like just
Yeah.
picks it up, and there's just no bottom to it anymore. It's just like the outside of the circle. It's all like burnt away and stuff.
That's right.
I also like that scene kind of comes out of nowhere. It's just like they're doing something, and then it's that night, and he's greasing up his sled. They're gonna go sledding. He goes way too fast, and then when he crashes, the scene ends, and that's it.
Yep.
Like there's no no one mentions it ever again. It's just like, okay, we're on to the next day. That's how that.
I would
day
have been
went.
amazed by that. It looked like he traveled like 20 miles.
Yeah, nobody was like, "Oh my god, you were right," or anything, or had anything to say. It was just like, okay, let's keep moving on here.
Yeah,
That
well,
was
they're
actually the
just
kinda-
all embarrassed by each other. So
Were those the kind of sleds that they had in the late 80s? Like metal,
Yeah, I don't know.
like
I think
saucers?
the kids had like normal sleds,
Yeah.
but him
The
and
son
Eddie
definitely did.
both had
The metal saucer.
the metal saucer.
I mean, maybe
I don't know.
we still have those, but plastic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I don't
definitely
know.
had like
Sled.
a plastic one.
solid
that's the
metal
same
sounds
shape.
like heavy and expensive, so I don't know.
Well, yeah.
What-
He doesn't really have money problems, probably.
It's silver.
Yeah, that scene was okay for me. I feel like when I'm expecting it too much in this movie, it doesn't land for me, and it's when they manage to surprise me. That
Yeah.
scene
Well,
in
that's-
the attic.
Oh, I like that scene.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do the rake gag in the attic with the planks.
That I
I
didn't
didn't like that at
no,
all.
that was
like
dumb.
because I knew I watched
So
them working
funny.
on the planks, and as soon as one went up, I was like, okay, I guess what's gonna happen, and they just kept going.
It's like,
I
oh, let's
get
just
it.
beat
Yeah.
the shit out of him.
And they say they do the
Alright.
rake gag that's
Let's
based
do it.
on, the Simpsons sideshow Bob stepping on all the rakes, but that's actually from a few years after this. So I guess maybe it's the Chevy Chase in the attic gag is what we should call it. I don't know.
The one thing that honestly, the funniest part in the whole movie for me was in that attic, though. Is I'm waiting for him to fall through the ceiling. You know he's gonna fall through the ceiling. I'm like, okay, yeah, he's gonna fall through the ceiling. And then when he finally falls through the ceiling, he lands on his feet land on top of the bunk bed, so he only falls like a foot through, and it's just like,
Yeah, no,
And
no
now, like,
reaction.
That really got me too.
that killed me because
That was
obviously
good.
that is not at
That wasn't
all-
what I expected
I was
to happen.
100% sold. I was like, this guy's gonna fall through the ceiling. He's gonna get hurt. Okay, we laugh at that. And then he doesn't, and he's like, "Oh, okay." It just keeps going on with his day.
Yep.
I was like,
No-
"Okay,
no
that was
reaction.
that was really funny."
And then this is when he puts on a lady's dress and hat
That's
as well.
yeah, that's the part I like so much about it.
Yeah, I really thought there was gonna be more with that too, like because I thought he would fall through the ceiling, and then everyone would see him in this weird outfit, or the
He eventually does fall through
yeah,
because he's sitting on top of the hatch, which is really his own fault.
that I got a good
We
laugh
thought that
at
was
too,
funny too because we didn't expect it.
I did not expect when I saw her go to pull the ladder, I didn't think he's sitting on the ladder and just gonna plop through it.
Yeah.
So
He's-
yeah, I thought that was real funny too.
And I like the choice to not show him falling, because it's a really badly positioned attic entrance where it seems to be at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
So I really thought he'd be like in drag falling down the stairs, but they
See
just
him
don't
falling
have
for like
that.
2
Yeah.
minutes, and yeah.
I thought he'd either do that or he was going to fall directly on top of his wife, who wouldn't have been expected.
Yes.
So,
I also want to know if that's just how attics were in the 80s because it was horrible.
I don't
As
know.
soon because they closed the attic because the grandma or whatever is like, oh, it's so cold, it's a draft. And then when he's in the attic,
He's trapped.
there's a window that is like this is not insulated at all. I was like, his attic must be freezing.
Yeah.
And they make a point to say it's freezing in his attic. I'm like, is this what we just did back then? Is this
it was just
fine?
an open space.
It was
yeah.
basically like outside almost.
Yeah.
Tons of animals in there all the time. I bet. Yeah.
That's all I could think of.
But yeah, the window, it just spun.
Yeah.
So he just
I,
stick his head
I
out.
like the part where he doesn't know which side to go through.
Yeah.
And he's
like
watching
going
his
up and
family
down.
just drive away. They just fucking leave him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. They do. They don't care at all. The mom that I guess it's the mother-in-law that locks him up there. That's the mom from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot of just sitcom people sort of bouncing around the edges of this movie, which is fun. And I guess future sitcom people, since Johnny Galecki was on the #1 show of all time, if you believe what CBS said about Big Bang Theory. So
Yeah.
it's not my #1 show of all time. I'm just saying, as far as ratings go, I think
Oh yeah. He did well for himself.
I'm sure that guy is extremely rich now.
Yeah.
So that's it. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. There's you weren't kidding. Do you want to just?
Yeah, let's get on it. No, I feel like I got more to talk about. I'm trying to think
Some good scenes. I like the scene where he's imagining this Hawaiian, or I guess his pool, and people coming to see his
Yeah.
pool. I like that whole
and then it
the whole
devolves
scene.
into him, the fucking girl is back from the department store, like doing this weird swimsuit striptease in the, like going into his pool, and he's like, yeah, I kind of thought that was funny because he's looking out the window. Like, he's clearly not asleep or anything. He's just like that vividly imagining this.
It's like, yeah, he's like actually hallucinating.
That whole
Yes.
sequence was pretty funny because
I
it
thought it
started
was.
with like the happy family outside, but then he like had the cousin-in-law there.
Yeah,
He's like,
the cousins, yeah. He's
great.
like, "Oh,
He's like, waving at him.
like he's not in control of it.
And it's funny too because it's all just once again from his face is all
Yeah.
you get, because he's very like expressive on his opinions of what's happening in his own daydream he's having
Yeah.
through like his face through
his
this
life
window.
sucks in his own daydream.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he just wants. This is the whole thing. He wants to put that pool in. That's what he needs a bonus check for.
That's right.
Have you
Yeah.
guys seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that's
Yeah.
right from there, right?
It is. Yeah.
So yeah, and she's even wearing red. That's what.
She was wearing the outfit, yeah. So it's
Yeah,
like-
just kind of. I think it's a one piece instead of a two piece, but whatever.
yeah.
It's so Phoebe Cates in that movie in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Judge Reinhold is looking out a window while masturbating in a bathroom, and like looking out a window and imagining Phoebe Cates slowly getting out of a pool and like taking her top off.
Okay.
Mhm.
Also in like a red bathing suit. So
He wasn't masturbating, was he?
so that's what was in my mind because
Yes.
it's a direct
So
reference to a scene where a character's
Oh.
masturbating, and then there's like a little girl coming
then,
in
yeah.
this one.
Yes.
Oh
So-
no.
Yeah.
I
I thought
think-
he's gonna turn around and like have a massive erection.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
what I
like,
thought was gonna happen.
That's-
sure he was gonna turn around with a huge erection.
Yeah. It's like, this is awful. I really don't. I almost like was like, okay, I got to look for the 15-second forward button.
Yeah. And you can't.
So I'm not going to watch this part.
You can't see for a while too, because the way
I
the camera
know, they
positions
go
it, the
there.
girl blocks his bottom half, so the camera's behind the little girl who's
I
asking,
feel like there's no way.
"Are you Santa?" And I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna have a massive erection. But when they finally like pan the camera, there's nothing. I'm like, okay, fuck, thank God, because I was like, this
Yeah,
scene
thank
is
God.
just
If it was a different character, maybe. If it was like Cousin Eddie or something, and then he could add some funny comment about him jerking off. I don't know.
So did they do that to us on purpose? Were we supposed to like?
be worried that he had an
Yeah.
erection. I
Maybe.
assumed, but
Yeah, it could be.
What a fun joke they play on
Oh,
the
that's so funny.
I kept expecting that his neighbors were going to be on the other side of the window too. The ones that we keep having problems
That
with.
would've
I
been
don't know
funny
why.
because he was just like,
He was just staring out
He
this
was just
window,
having,
making
like,
these weird faces.
yeah, making weird faces. I don't know
Yeah.
if he waved back to his cousin-in-law at some point.
Yeah, I
but,
think
like,
he did.
You know,
I think he did.
yeah,
They could have gone. a lot
that
of
yeah,
different
they could have brought the
directions with that.
neighbors into that. You know, that would have been funny because the neighbors are just like victims of his antics. So
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah, and it's funny too because I hadn't seen any of these vacation movies, so I wasn't sure if these neighbors were, reoccurring characters. But it starts off with them just being absolute assholes to him. They're like, "Fuck this guy," the first time you see him.
They have to be in the other ones, right?
I don't know. They're just totally dicks to him. So I didn't really care. But then by like the halfway point of the movie, you're like, oh, wow, it sucks to be this guy's name.
Yeah, you get it.
really sucks.
You immediately get it.
They're right in this.
Yeah, you're like, okay, no,
Oh,
I got
100%.
Yeah, that's fine. You can hate this guy.
Also, one of my favorite scenes is at the end, she's like completely fed up with him and she goes to like confront him and they open the door. It's the dog and the squirrel that just run around and attack her.
How about that scene with the neighbors where it just cuts to them? And I don't remember what they were complaining about that time, but they're both wearing those matching like
Oh,
silver
yeah.
outfits.
Yeah, I think they had just come back from like
That was-
exercising.
that
That
was
was their
great.
like workout thing. It was like a one-piece silver tracksuit thing.
You're working out in space or
Yeah,
something.
looked like they came back from a trip to outer space.
That was hilarious. Is this just what the 80s was?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty much the 80s for you.
Yeah, honestly, that scene too, I was like, I don't know what the joke is exactly in this outfit. Like, is this outfit only like a little ridiculous? Or is this thing completely over the top? I don't know what we were wearing at that point.
Yeah, it's hard to gauge it.
Yeah. So like I said, running through this movie, I'm thinking about kind of the sort of through lines that it's threading, and it's about, late 80s conservative, assuming family and the suburbs and some kind of white flight haven outside of Chicago.
We didn't mention the first scene. The one scene of the movie.
You talked about the car.
All we said was that it's like 9 seconds long.
We liked the look, kid's a deer. Like that was pretty funny. We're like,
that was a
maybe
classic
we'll
dad
Yeah,
move.
that's funny.
Yeah.
Classic dad move. I like the fake out of they drive the car like off the road and it flies and it lands in front of a tree lot.
Yeah.
And then it
And
cuts
then
to
they
their
don't go to
like
the tree
wandering
lot.
in the woods. They're like, why didn't we go to the tree lot? He's like, no, this is way better.
Yes, them wandering through the woods. The fact that the kids are complaining the whole time about being tired and cold. And then they finally make it to their tree, and obviously Clark is super thrilled to find this tree. His wife, super supportive wife, is thrilled for him. And they cut over to his daughter, and she's just like fucking frozen. She looks dead.
She'll see it later. Her eyes are frozen open or something.
her eyes
Yeah,
are frozen.
she can't see, dear. Her eyes, yeah, her
She'll see
eyes
it
are
later.
frozen, yeah.
She'll see it later.
And then, did you bring an axe? And then just pans again. I
Says,
think it was
yeah, his
back
face,
in his
yeah.
face. Thanks,
Once it
like
gets
that.
back to the house, it immediately shrinks by like tenfold.
Yeah.
Well, because he chops it. It's like,
He whittles
Right,
it down.
yeah, he has to, but it's what, 40 feet tall?
I wish we had
That's
seen
the
like
tree he
the.
picks?
Big.
They should have showed us the tree remnants, like hanging like in a pile, like in the yard. I would have
Yeah.
liked that.
Yeah.
There would have been a lot of tree left over.
a lot. Speaking of the tree, too, when he like unties it and it like it expands and smashes out
Breaks
his
the
windows.
window.
The amount of
that
And it
windows
gets
that
sap
get
everywhere.
that killed me.
That
sap
was
joke
funny.
is good.
That
The
was
sap
funny.
joke was pretty good. He's like, it's got a lot of sap or something, and then
Yeah,
he's in bed with his wife, and he's like flipping through his magazine, and he like pulls something out and it's stuck to his hand, and I was like, oh, it must be like. At first, I didn't even think about it. I thought it was a joke about like this was like something that was stuck in the magazine, but then it's like every page is getting ripped out, and they're all stuck to him.
And she didn't say anything about it. She was just like, yeah, she was
Then-
helping him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then he
Yeah.
touches her hair too.
Yeah.
and
It
it's
keeps
hair.
getting worse, yeah.
And she doesn't say it.
And then he stuck to the lamp. All right. The humor in this movie that did land with me landed pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's
the kind of
definitely some solid
absurdist
scenes.
sort of stuff
Yeah.
I really like.
That I enjoyed.
Um,
I did one of my
He
notes
fell
on
off.
here was this is how it would be if I put Christmas lights on my roof. Because
you'd
it would.
fall off.
Yeah, it would just be a disaster.
Staple your hand to the.
Yep, I would do that.
the
I would
roof.
like try to like pull my arm
I
off
was
and
just upset this whole scene. I was like, is this how people put Christmas lights on their roof? Like he's got a
can-
staple.
Oh, yeah.
That can't be, right? He uses like
he stapled it in. I feel like that's not
right
what
to
you
his
do,
shingles. I don't know.
Yeah, it
I
seems
guess
like a
I've never
bad
done
move.
it, but he must have used like 1,000 staples. So I
At
was like,
least.
how are you gonna get this off your roof? Lady?
I'm really not good with stuff like that, so I feel like that is what I would do. Is I would be like fumbling with the ladder. I'd be like stapling things wrong, and
Yeah, I feel like you get them in sort of like a grid, so you just secure like the edge
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
whatever,
the ends probably right.
and then
Not
you don't
the-
need to staple the rest of it.
Yeah, that's what I assume. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
or
did
like,
like
a clip or something you put around the edge. I don't know.
I like that part was like okay for me because once again it's pretty predictable. But I did like when he finally falls off the roof and he lands in like that bush outside his house. His wife comes outside like right after to tell him like dinner's done or something, and he's like, "Okay, I'll be right there." And he says it from like the bush, and
He's
she's
inside.
just like,
she's just like, yes.
"Yep,
Yeah.
okay, yep." Does not acknowledge that there's anything wrong. Just goes right back to the house.
She's a good
just so
wife.
used to it. Yeah.
She's a good wife.
As his neighbor said, he's definitely going to fall, but they're not lucky enough that he'd actually get seriously injured.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He'll definitely fall. We're
I don't
just
think
not
he'll
lucky
land.
enough
And
for
they
him to
were
like break his neck.
correct on both
Yeah.
counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we haven't talked about Cousin Eddie a lot, and I feel like he had a lot of good scenes in there.
He
I just
does.
don't like that aesthetic of like gross side character who's just literally just like throwing shit around.
I just took it for, I mean, I don't know. The whole movie's kind of like predictable like that. So I'm like, okay, here's another, like, we know who this character is, what he's going to do, why he's there. So
Ultimately, Eddie's like a good guy who's actually like somewhat helpful.
Yeah.
But
His
he's
heart's,
just sorta
heart's
like,
bigger than his brain.
yeah. But these like
Yeah.
white Reagan conservatives from the upper middle class in suburban Chicago they just like feel like they're so much better than this guy, and this guy sucks, so I get it.
I like his dog. His dog's a good boy.
His dog
Snot.
is a good boy.
Snot.
Snot,
Yeah.
yeah.
Get out of there, it's not.
Yeah, just stuff like that. I feel like that's like very
The one thing that did land on me too is when the dog's drinking all the water in the tree and Clark's yelling at him, and right away Clark is upset because he wants the right amount of water in the tree and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, don't worry about him. Hey, that won't bother him. drink half a quart of Pennzoil before we got here."
That's right.
I liked when the dog was like throwing up under the table too. I don't know. I just feel like that's something our dog would be doing. So,
Yeah. He's just for like, yeah,
no, he's fine. Don't worry. About
yeah, he's fine. He just does
He's
that.
got it up.
Yeah, he's all set.
For sure. We should talk about that dinner scene, the iconic turkey
Oh,
there.
God.
It's a turkey, right? It's not chicken.
It's a turkey.
Yeah, it's a turkey.
Yeah, that was overcooked.
that was pretty funny when he cuts into it and it like
That's a very good prop. It looks like a
comes out of it.
it's like a monster movie prop that
Yeah.
just like the way it kind of goes like
Yeah, it was pretty horrible.
yeah,
It's
it looks
horrible.
like desiccated on the inside.
I did really like because the
Then
next like 5 minutes is just everyone like chewing way too much to try and eat this wicked dry turkey. Yeah.
So like all the best people, I hate the sound of people eating, so this part was a nightmare, but
Oh, God.
I was supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
it is, but it like
Right.
really skin crawly stuff.
It was pretty brutal. I like how Cousin Eddie's like going back for seconds.
Clark just keeps like he takes one bite and he drinks like a whole cup of water with it.
His wife is like pretending to eat it. And, like,
One of the
goes to
relatives is
back.
dipping it in their water.
Yeah, that part is fun.
Gonna
That you go around the
Yeah.
table and see how everyone's dealing with like faking eating this.
Yeah.
And the
or
cousin
eating-
also, like, he went to take a scoop of, like, I don't know what it was, sweet potatoes or something, and he plopped it, he tasted it, and then he put it, like, back in the spoon back in, and I was like, ooh, COVID. This is
Yeah,
bad.
right,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Like, this is
I'd
bad.
never
Like,
forget
everybody
these
knows
days.
this is bad. This is part of the bit. I'm like, but, ooh, this feels real bad now.
Yeah.
This is also when the people who are, I guess, the worst relatives, but if we're just talking about this in real terms, they're the people who didn't get there until Christmas Eve. So like good on them. For this Christmas party, they didn't arrive like 5 weeks early.
Yeah, they're not overstaying their welcome.
No, but it's the lady with Alzheimer's.
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
and Lewis with the terrible toupee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they're
liked, I like their characters.
I did too.
I
I'm
liked
assuming they're I don't know who they are exactly, but they're either like grandparents, great grandparents, or like great aunts or something.
Yeah.
I
They're-
feel like I
It
have
was
a
like great
whole
aunt.
gaggle of like great aunts in my family, so I feel like I could really relate to this.
I think
Yeah.
it was great aunt uncle because they always
Yeah.
call him Lewis. They never
Yeah.
call him like
and
Greg.
it was
Yeah.
like we
Same
only
with
really
Lewis,
visit them
too.
on Christmas Eve kind of thing, and I was like, I
Yes.
very much relate to these characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she has Alzheimer's. They get a lot of jokes out of that.
She wrapped her cat.
her rapping with the cat I thought was real funny, especially because like I knew something was going on because the son's like holding the box and he keeps like listening to it and like shaking it a little bit and he's like, Dad, this box is meow.
He's like,
Yeah.
Just beating up the cat though.
I also have in my running thread of Chevy Chase getting to do physical comedy, the wrapped package with the cat inside.
Yeah.
was
That he's
was there
pretending like
something
he's-
actually
"Ah."
inside of it? Because if that was just him doing it, I feel like he did a pretty good job making it look like there
That's
was
his
actually
thing.
something in there.
Yeah.
I thought he did a really good job.
It was probably he had a really good time doing that, and then someone said the wrong thing to him, and he stormed off for the rest of the day. They had to like take the day off. I don't know. So Chevy Chase, it's Chevy Chase. That's what happens.
And the Jello mold was in the other package.
Yeah. This one's leaking.
He just tastes it.
Yeah, he
Like,
just
why
tastes-
would you
This
do
one's
that?
leaking.
It's lime.
I got a good laugh out of that. And then once again, I feel like there is a couple things they do a good job with, like the build up on and the cat. As soon as they like let the cat out, like they're like, yeah, let the cat out of the box. I was like, oh, this is I don't know what's about to happen, but it's a nightmare because they keep mentioning the dog too, Snot, and I'm like, oh my god, am I gonna have to watch this? Like, what is about to happen here?
It's
Yep.
true. They led up to a lot of things, and then like something different happened. Like I could have, I knew that the tree was going to catch on fire. That was like one of the only things I knew about this movie, and I thought that it was going to be, the cat. You see the cat chewing on the wires on the tree. I'm like, oh, okay, that's how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. Like that was not what happened at all. So that was pretty good.
Yeah. They set up so many dominoes and then like tease you with which ones they play.
Yeah.
Yes, so I
liked
do.
that.
I do like that. That's like I said, it didn't
Yeah,
all
like him
land for
falling
me.
through the ceiling and he landed on the bunk beds. Like, yeah,
That-
they did this
yeah.
a lot during the movie, and it was
Yeah,
that
'cause
was
you
good.
knew he was gonna fall through that ceiling. but-
Terrible attic, like you said, just open air,
Horrible.
no flat surfaces, just beams across the floor.
Yeah, the draft was what killed me the most. I get it. You have an unfinished attic. You put those planks so you have something to walk on in there. I've had attics like that. But why is it just the same? Like, there's just like a big open hole essentially.
There's
That
definitely
window.
animals living in there, right?
Absolutely.
And they keep stuff in there.
It's horrible.
Yeah. So they have the great aunt who has Alzheimer's say grace, and she does
That's good.
The Pledge of Allegiance.
which is funny, but sets up the much funnier ending, which we'll get to.
The fact too that cousin Eddie
It
stands up.
up. It's great.
That's really good.
I'm sorry.
That is worth mentioning. So I have written here that's a real thing that happens today. They couldn't have known that at the time, but I don't know if you've seen any of these troll videos in the last few years, but someone will go into, I don't know, like a steakhouse in Tennessee or something and like play the Star Spangled Banner, and like a bunch of people drop what they're doing and stand up.
I haven't seen this.
Yeah, it's a real thing that happens to Americans today. So
Yeah, I really like too that like at first everybody's like, what, what, this isn't right. But then after she goes a little while, like they mostly all kind of join in and also start like doing the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah.
yeah, and then like I said, that sets up the ending, which I think is even funnier. But
Well, yeah, I really like that too.
when everyone and the cops are all just doing it together.
Yes. And they started because the Santa flies by, right?
Yeah, because they see the Santa and she thinks it's fireworks, I guess.
Yeah,
so.
she starts the rocket spread glares when she starts.
Yeah, yeah.
And the play ball at the end of it, I love.
Yes. It's really good.
Yeah. That's just good comedy construction, that it sets up that he has like the decor of the Santa and the reindeer on the front yard. I didn't think it was going to end with the sewer explosion making it look like Santa was flying by the moon,
I really like to
with the grandma interpreting it as the beginning of a baseball game. I thought that was really fun.
It was-
Great on,
it was
Grandma,
good.
whatever.
They set us up real good too there, because at this point, that's after Lewis sets himself in the tree on fire. So we're like, there's our gas explosion has happened, and they're out. They come outside, and Clark looks and they see he's like, it's the Christmas star, and he's telling everyone what the Christmas star means. And Lewis is like, no,
That's not the Christmas
that's
star,
like
Grizz.
the warning light from the sewage treatment plant.
Yeah.
And like you can see in the background that it definitely is like a light on top of a tall building.
Yeah.
Not a star. And I didn't notice until he said that. And then they're like, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah. It's Uncle Lewis with a cigar again, right?
Yeah, and he throws the match behind him. And they I don't know if it's a dummy or something, but that's a seemingly real explosion, and there's like a stuntman who gets
be, like,
fucking
dead.
yeeted off the top of his frame. So
It's like, oh my God, he died.
yeah, like they show it at first and it's him and he kind of like jumps up in the air or whatever, and then it cuts away and you're like, oh, that's gonna show, but then it cuts back. And like I said, I don't know if it's a dummy, I don't know if it's a stuntman, but somebody gets like yeeted up off the top of the frame. So
Yeah, they had like a couple like explosions and like I said, so many windows break. The whole ending, like you said, they're putting all their little dominoes in place. They're like setting up all their stuff.
should say the boss is there at this point too.
Yeah, the ending
thanks
I
to
did
Cousin
not
Eddie.
guess. Obviously, once he says like he's been waiting for this bonus check to come. We have the scene where he finally gets it. Everyone is like cringing as he's talking about how great this is that he finally got it. He admits to his whole family that
He already spent it.
he spent $7,500 that he doesn't have on this pool. He says, if there's extra, I'm going to fly you all down. And you're like, we're all very aware that there's no bonus check in this letter. There's no way it's going to pan out for this guy. And he opens it up and he gets, is it Jello of the month or something?
Jelly.
Jelly. Jelly.
It's a gift that keeps on giving.
And that's like,
That was great.
That was good.
and then, that's where his whole downhill, that's probably the peak of his downhill there.
That's
Sorry.
one of his rant about his boss. That's like iconic.
It was
he
good.
ran about his
Yeah.
boss. And you
Yeah,
know when he
absolutely.
says like, if that's the best gift you could give me, bring him here. And
I-
you know right away, like Cousin Eddie's gonna.
I loved it. That's what really sold me on Cousin Eddie. The fact that he was just like, okay, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
like at least he
Cousin Eddie's a
cares,
good
right? He's
dude.
not like really using them to like
Yeah.
get his kids presents. Like he's like,
Yeah.
no, yeah, I'll get you the best gift you've ever had.
Yeah,
Let's go.
He says it right there.
Yeah.
He's very obvious about it.
Yeah,
I want my boss right here.
yeah.
All right.
I like the cut to the wife in the mansion talking to the police. Like there's like a large man and
Bulging
a
man.
bulging man in a light blue leisure suit. It was a beast. Yeah. Very fun.
I love when the wife, like we see the wife like come in with the police and he's like, no, it's just a misunderstanding. Like, remember when I was talking about the idea of maybe not giving out the bonuses? And she's like, you didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
like she
Even
totally
she's
agreed
like,
with them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the cops tell him that's super low, man. He's like, I've changed my mind.
If I had a rubber hose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good scene too. And when they're all frozen too, and she just has like her hand on his head.
Yeah.
And she takes his hand off his dick.
Like shake
Yeah.
someone's hand or something.
Nice
And
to
then
meet
she
you.
puts it back.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah.
She's really good in this.
She was,
Yeah.
yeah.
He
Yeah.
should be happier.
She should be.
One other scene that I really liked is the whole squirrel thing. So the tree's burned. He puts it outside and is like, I'm going to go get another tree. And he just gets a tree from outside and then brings it inside.
Which is just like he just chops them down in his front lawn, it seems like.
Is it
or
his lawn or
neighbors.
is it the neighbors?
I think it's the neighbor's
It
lawn
falls
and
through their
it
window.
originally falls through their window.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's something in the tree. It's a squirrel. But this was my biggest actual laugh of the movie, was that these people are so afraid of this squirrel.
They're all
Yeah.
terrified.
So afraid of this squirrel. And there's specifically a shot where they know there's a squirrel. Most of them make it out of the room, but Lewis and the great aunt don't notice it's happening. And Clark's mom has fallen down
Passed
and
out.
decided the best way to avoid is just to play dead.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
So-
she
Oh, I
passed
think
out.
she passed out.
Oh, yeah.
I thought she
I think
passed
so,
out.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, she's passed out. Oh, yeah, she faints.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
faints when it jumps out.
Because he says something like, Mom, don't move. And then he's like, good job.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
she's just not conscious.
No, you're totally right. But I love the rest of them sort of retreat to the hallway, and he's saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna put it in my jacket and hit it with the hammer."
With a hammer.
And yeah,
I also really like they mentioned something like, where's Eddie? Doesn't he eat these? And his
Yeah.
wife's like, oh no, he found out they're high in
Sorry, the squirrel.
cholesterol.
yeah. He found out they're high in cholesterol. But I love that his dad really seriously is like, "I'm going in too."
Yeah.
And they treat it like, for 10 seconds, they treat it like a horror movie. They wake the mom up. They're talking to her a little bit, and then the dad sees that the squirrel's on Clark's back, and there's like a snap zoom into the old man's face, and he yells, "Squirrel!" And it's just like absolute abject terror. And I don't know why they filmed that part like a horror movie, but it's so funny. And then the squirrel's on Clark, and he's doesn't know it's on him. He's chasing the family, and they're trying to run away from him.
That was so good.
Man, if they're that scared of that squirrel, they're not going to be happy about the family of squirrels that's living in their attic.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
no,
right.
they're not.
There's like
And
1,000 squirrels up
raccoons
there.
and whatever else is up there.
I'm
Yeah,
ready for
so
that.
and then that sets up eventually the squirrel runs out the front door. Right as he's opening it, Julia Louis-Dreyfus is there to complain about the broken window, and the squirrel and dog both jump on her, and he closes the door, and that's it for her character. Just about. She goes back and punches her husband or
Yeah, and
boyfriend.
Todd gets the brunt of the.
Fucking Todd.
Man, this is random, but all of the animals in this movie, they're good looking animals. Like
Yeah.
that Rottweiler, I was like, wow, this is a really nice looking Rottweiler. Like, and then the cat, I was like, wow, this is a beautiful
you were
cat.
impressed by the cat. I
Yeah.
think because
Oh,
like
the cat gets super electrocuted.
I'm like, this is like,
that kind of killed
if you were to
me,
get
too.
this
I like
cat,
that.
I'm like, this is probably like a $4,000 cat. Like, this
Yeah.
is a beautiful cat. This is a cat model.
Yeah, I was also just happy with it too because this time of year I want a Christmas movie.
I have a much lower threshold for Christmas movies. You
Yeah.
know, Christmas movies
that's
aren't really supposed to be that good. So, yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Disagree. They are supposed to be that good, but this
yeah,
was
I totally agree. I think the ending was awesome with the explosion into the plastic Santa. Everyone's singing the Star Spangled Banner. Great ending.
I like their little song because they start and end with it.
Oh, it's a
With the
good song.
animations.
Yeah, I just added it to my Christmas playlist today.
It's just the guy yelling
That's
Christmas
catchy.
Vacation over and over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well, again, there's
it's
no
got a good
vacation.
tune.
Yeah.
it's got a good
That's
tune.
catchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't love the little animation with Santa in the beginning.
I really hated that animation. Like I said,
Yeah,
I
that was a
started
turn
watching
off.
it. I turned off the movie. I didn't watch it.
That was a turn off for me. I was like, I don't care for this.
And it was so long. Like if it was only like a 30-second animation, I would have been like, okay, let's get
I
through
don't
this.
remember it being so long.
It's so
It was
long.
pretty
It's as
long,
long as the song, so the song's gonna be 2 or 3 minutes.
I don't know. I just never noticed. I
It's
guess I'm just so
Santa
used to
doing
watching it.
stuff.
It's just poor Santa like getting beat up the whole time.
I did like in the little animation how they animated the reindeers
I
because
did
they
like the
just
reindeer.
didn't bother to. Like their legs don't move.
Yeah, they're just like
They just
South
like
Park style, just
Yeah.
like kind of bouncing
Yeah, they
across
has
the
a
screen.
legit like light bulb as a nose.
yes,
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, the song's good.
ending's the best because, like I said, I think they throw you a little bit of a curveball with you think the gas explosion's all set.
Good ending. Good ending. So the one thing I did want to really drill down on and forgot to because no one was picking up what I was putting down, and that's not your fault. It's because I made a bad point. So the through line of this movie, they kind of make a feint towards the dad being like, "This is your house. You read 'Twas the Night Before Christmas." and this kind of like emotional family handoff. And like I said, they kind of make a feint toward that. But right as that's hitting something like an emotional climax, that's when Cousin Eddie comes back with the kidnapped boss and everything blows up. And the real emotional through line of the movie becomes Clark finally gets his Christmas bonus, because the true meaning of Christmas is the acquisition of wealth.
Yes.
That is the point I wanted to make.
As it should be.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then everything is right with the world.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
It is a
money.
cynical, nihilistic film, and I kind of like that about it.
Yeah, I enjoy that too.
Yeah, I guess I didn't even notice that. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
same.
I think they do go through the trouble of actually doing a fake out with some kind of like emotional
They did.
connection.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But then they
It-
immediately say, actually, all this absurd shit's happening.
He's getting a pool. That's all that matters.
Yeah, he's getting a pool.
Yeah, he's getting his pool.
And then they sing God
When they sing-
they do the Pledge of Allegiance and they do the Star Spangled
Star
Banner.
Spangled Banner.
Yeah.
God bless America.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this movie a lot. This will be in the rotation. It just wasn't one. So like for me, it just wasn't one of the ones we watched growing up. But it wasn't anything I was ever opposed to. Just this podcast gives good opportunities, I guess, to cross stuff like this off the list. So
Yeah. That's one of them.
good pick, Noah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was happy with it. I don't know if it's one I'll watch a lot, but I wouldn't be surprised if I come back to it like next
Yeah.
year for Christmas time.
Yeah, I'm not going to be throwing it on in May, but
Yeah. It's like I want to throw in the rotation, though, I think.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, we got a couple of those off the list. The three that we did for Christmas are all ones that are, well, if this one joins Die Hard and Muppet Christmas Carol, then it'll be all ones that are, a yearly occurrence.
My only like one that I feel like I need every year is Elf. Maybe now Single All the Way will be added in there.
Could be.
It's a must see. You'll
Yeah.
never guess how it ends.
You got to watch Happiest Season, and we'll talk about the streamers doing the gay Christmas movies and who's doing the best ones and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I almost suggested, because we were looking for like another Christmas movie to watch for the podcast, to just pick any random Hallmark or Lifetime movie, and we were just gonna watch it and try to like guess what happened, and then thoroughly analyze how it went. 'Cause I
I
feel like
said
those are
That'd
really
be
fun.
That'd be
Even-
fun to do.
Even better, we'd like get a list of them. We all watch different ones, but talk about it as if we've only watched one and see if they
It'll
that would
work.
probably
if
work
it
out
ends up as a like
completely
coherent
fine.
podcast. I think it would.
Gonna say
I
we
think
can
it
just
would,
do
too.
one and be like, Jessica's a career-oriented interior designer from the city, but a relative left her Vermont bed and breakfast, and now she has to learn how to.
And there's this
the
plumber.
baker in town is like a really hunky dude.
That's a
Real blue collar guy.
Yeah, real
Yeah.
blue collar hunky
Single dad.
single dad.
And she gets to Vermont, and you're like, Vermont's a normal place. And she's like, there's no bars on my phone. And he's like, the only bars around here are alcohol ones.
You should come to one with me sometime.
And she's like, "Oh man, look at your cute little kid." And the kid's like, "Oh man, like I'm all messed up since my mom died, and like you seem really great though. You're the first person I bonded with."
Yeah.
Ever.
And the dad's like, "Wow, this is really interesting. That my kid like likes this girl."
Yeah.
That's so weird.
And my kid really likes this one little theater in town, but it's going to go out of business.
Unless the
Someone could redo the interior decoration
Yeah.
for real cheap. but they'd have to do it in time for the Christmas play.
oh, that's right.
Yep.
This is
He
it.
teaches her how to bake in time for the bake sale
Yeah.
to raise the funds.
That's
They
She's never baked
fail,
before.
But then she says, I'll do it for free.
Yes.
I'll interior design your theater. Yeah.
boom Hallmark.
Yep.
Uh,
But she has to fly back on the 24th if she's going to get her big promotion.
she decides not to name the movie Vermont for the holidays.
Okay.
She has a falling out because she thinks that the hunky guy is actually in love with I don't know, the plant lady that lives in the town, sells poinsettias. Turns out it was just a big misunderstanding.
Yeah.
She flies back home. He meets her at the airport before she gets on the plane.
Yep.
Yep.
But it's like a block away from the airport because they didn't get rights to film in the airport.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah.
They play plane sounds in the background.
Yeah.
They keep ducking like, whoa, the planes are really close by. We must be right next to the airport.
You got me just in
Just
time.
have people casually walk by with like rolling luggage and,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
call it a day.
And
then it starts to snow.
Lacey Chabert one, or what are we thinking?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know that enough to make that
we'll
call.
say yeah.
Maybe I'll star in it.
Okay.
I could be a hunky
Yeah.
baker.
There you
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, not in my Hallmark movie, but, you know.
Oh my god.
Okay.
wow, we got to write this, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sounds like you just did.
Yeah.
I bet if you
don't
work
need
at Hall,
any- that is more than enough script to sell to Hallmark.
I bet they get like 1 million a Christmas season of people are like, I have the next bed and breakfast
Oh,
airport reunion movie. And they're like, oh, put it in the bed and breakfast airport reunion ending movie basket.
or maybe it's like, was it South Park? Their joke about Family Guy. It's just like
Manatees just
that
arranging
pick-
balls of
That's kind of how I
ideas.
imagine it happening.
Yeah.
Vermont, bed and breakfast,
For real.
single father.
Seriously. So this movie gives us an opportunity to talk about a couple of like the biggest names in movies from the decade before we were all born, namely Chevy Chase and John Hughes. Chevy Chase, we've already talked about a little bit. I was going to write a bunch of notes, but instead I put Chevy Chase, and then I left a bunch of dots. He's a guy who was really, really famous for doing his thing and then continued to try to do that thing to less success. Eventually played a character that was essentially himself on Community, that he butted heads with the maker of Community so much that he eventually left Community. And I don't know what he's doing currently, to be
Working at
honest.
a fast food restaurant just came up in my feed.
Oh, yes?
Yeah.
Where's he
Oh,
working?
fun.
Well, no, it was like he was going to a screening of this movie in South Carolina. This happened like right after I finished watching the movie. I just happened to go
weird.
through. I was like, oh, this is weird. And he went to this like fast food restaurant that I'd never heard of. So it sounds like it's like a local chain kind of thing. And he was like, wow, I really like this place. This is good food. He's like, I'm going to take a temporary job here. So he's just there being Chevy Chase and like serving people through the drive-through window, and people think it's really funny.
Okay.
So that's what he was doing for a while.
So I don't know much about Chevy Chase, but just watching the movie, I got a vibe that it was like, this is just who this guy is.
Yeah.
So yeah, his thing is always like he starts as the cool guy with, success or whatever, and then he gets the girl and is still the cool guy with success at the end of the movie. That's all Chevy Chase really ever does. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of his thing. He's notoriously kind of prickly to work with. And again, I wasn't on set for this, but did any of you guys watch Community?
No.
Not like I've
Nope.
probably seen a couple of like episodes.
Someone
So-
always tells me to watch this.
Community is great.
That's
and
one of those
I'll add it
shows.
to the list.
Love Community. Yeah, please do it, please. That means a lot to me. So Chevy Chase's character on there is essentially like this kid who grew up rich and doesn't really have anything of his own of making really, but he's like a rich guy who just kind of hangs around. Joel McHale is the main character in the show, and he's like a cool guy who thinks he's too cool for everything, and he's attractive and sleeps with women and stuff, and essentially is playing the same character that Pete Chevy Chase would have played. And again, I wasn't on set, so I don't know if this is true or just apocryphal, whatever. Apparently, Chevy Chase went to the writers of the show and said, why aren't you giving me more lines like him? Why aren't you giving me so the character that Joel McHale is doing, that should be my character. Chevy Chase was like 70 at the time that he was saying that.
You're
like-
old and fat now, so
Right. He was
Backseat.
like, no, but people like it when I'm the cool guy that gets girls. And they had to be like, Chevy, you're 70. So that's Chevy Chase.
be an old guy. That's what you are, man.
Yeah, he's apparently extremely hard to work with, and butted
Doesn't
heads
sound
a
like
ton
it.
with Dan Harmon, but people butt heads with Dan Harmon anyway. So
Yeah.
whatever. That's the Chevy Chase of it all, I guess. I don't have a lot more to say about that. He's funny in a lot of stuff. Seems like he can be kind of a dick sometimes, but who can't? There's also stories about him being super nice sometimes. So I guess you gotta catch him on the right day. Like I said, the other person that we haven't talked about before on this podcast is John Hughes, who the first Vacation sort of kicks off a maybe unmatched run from the mid 80s until around the early 90s, when John Hughes, who is a writer and then a director, and then a writer-director, he writes a movie called National Lampoon's Class Reunion. Then he does Mr. Mom. And then in 1983, he writes the first Vacation. And then from then, he has a ridiculous run of writing and directing 16 Candles in 84, then The Breakfast Club in 85, then writing European Vacation in 85.
Wait, he
Then-
wrote the Breakfast Club?
Yeah.
And 16 Candles? Wow.
Yep, Rowan directed both those. So Breakfast Club, European Vacation, and Weird Science, all in 1985.
Wow.
He writes all of those, directs Breakfast Club and Weird Science, writes Pretty in Pink in 86, writes and directs Ferris Bueller's Day Off in 86, does Some Kind of Wonderful and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles in 87. And then it kind of like, after Planes, Trains, he has She's Having a Baby, a movie I don't know anything about. The Great Outdoors, a movie I don't know anything about. Then in 89, he writes and directs Uncle Buck and writes National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. In 1990, he writes Home Alone. Sort of stops after that into the early 90s. So yeah, that's like a 7-ish year run that rivals like the Beatles 7-ish year run.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's a lot
Of
of
just
Fucking
like
crushed it.
just
Yeah.
generationally defining movies for Gen X of just like all the main things that you think about for them.
Yeah.
Just an insane run, insane heater of a time. And he did die in 2009 at age 59, which is, if you're just going to write and direct movies, that's pretty young.
Mhm.
Well, he lived too hard and too fast. He made all those in way too short amount of time,
I think he writes the Home Alone movies, or at least gets credit for creating the Home Alone stuff. He does
all of them?
yeah.
Oh.
He at least he created the characters, so he at least gets credit in all of them.
Okay. Yeah.
He also did the Beethoven movies in the 90s. So even though it wasn't as like hugely, it was still super successful, obviously.
Those were fun.
So yeah, he's a dude. He's an absolute dude. We'll do John Hughes movies eventually. I have a trivia game if you want to play it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was going to be worried there wasn't a game.
Is this the same rules? We do the hand raise?
Yeah. We'll do a hand raise.
Okay.
Keanu Reeves.
So this one's just straight up.
Damn it.
This one's just straight up. Like I said, I was sick earlier this week. That's why my voice has been crazy this episode. And I just Googled Christmas movie trivia, and I took 10 questions from a website that had the funniest name of any results, and that was independentlyhappy.com, which sounds like someone who's divorced and like really insisting that they're happy about it.
I'm doing fine, thank you.
They weren't the one who asked for the divorce.
I'm fine. Look at my Christmas trivia. So this is from that sassy divorcee. Here's to you.
With your glass of wine.
So, like I was saying, in independentlyhappy.com provided, unbeknownst to them, these 10 trivia questions about Christmas movies. I'm just going to tell you, like, in what movie does this happen? And you tell me the name of the movie.
Cool.
All right.
Love Christmas movies. Let's go.
If you can come up with a Muppet pun, it's a bonus point.
It's still Muppet puns.
Between two curves.
We should do
Hey, that was my
one Muppet
pun.
time.
Oh, no.
So
And with that, we have successfully mentioned the Muppets in yet another episode. The
Should it
streak
be-
continues.
Should it be cat puns? Sorry.
Oh, cat puns. That's
Yeah,
probably
okay.
better.
Yeah. I like that. That's basically it. So the 3 contestants, there's 10 questions. They're not going to take that long, though, unless we take a long time to think of puns. Raise your hand. We'll go by order of raised hands. If it's close, we'll all decide who came first.
let's go.
In what Christmas movie does a boy's mom make him wash out his mouth with soap? Noah was first.
Christmas Story.
That is correct.
Yes.
Love that movie.
That's a good movie. 1 point?
Well, it's 1 point. I'm waiting to see if anyone has a
Oh.
pun.
Cat pun on a Christmas story? Oh, no.
A catnip story.
Eh.
That's kind of a stretch.
Seems like the table doesn't like it. The table says no.
That's all right. I say no too.
That's a tough, yeah.
Oh, I could like
Keep going.
Catsmith story.
Cat's story.
Yeah, I don't know how many of these are going to really lend themselves to that mechanic we just thought of. Whatever.
okay.
What Christmas movie has Santa defending himself in court as to whether or not he's really Santa? Noah's in first. Unless Greg was in first.
No, I'm back up.
You're my periph.
Is it the Santa Claus?
It is not.
I got nothing.
Okay. It's a classic movie. There's been a couple, at least, versions. The really classic ones in black and white.
Can I still guess?
Oh, yeah.
Is it Miracle on 34th Street?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, it is. Good job getting the correct street.
Yeah.
Any cat puns in the audience?
Meowicle on.
That's not bad.
You know what?
That's not bad. I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Yep. If you can do something with 34th as well, that'd be. I guess Meowicle's good enough.
Furry fourth.
That one's more of a stretch. I don't know how we feel about it.
I don't want the points.
I don't even want the points.
Wow.
All right, so 1-2-0.
Yeah.
Okay. What 2004 Christmas movie was the first all-digital capture film?
The Polar Express.
Yeah, this one's got a pretty easy one for a pun, I think.
Polar Express?
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
Nailed it.
That is
Nailed
what I
it.
was thinking.
That's good.
Nailed it.
That's fine.
2-2-1. As of October 2021, what's the highest grossing box office Christmas film of all time? That's a weirdly phrased thing. I should have rephrased
I
it.
have no idea.
Elf.
Nope.
That's a good guess. Wait, since when?
As of October 2021, what is the highest grossing Christmas film of all time?
Is it Die Hard?
It's not Die Hard. Do you guys want additional hints, or I guess Noah, do you want to take a guess since the other two did?
Is it Cats?
It's not Cats.
Throw another hint. I want this one.
It was a 1990 film for a while, but the current highest grossing one is a 2018 animated film. I think computer animated.
2018 computer animated.
That was, to my knowledge, at least the third version of this story.
Is it The Grinch?
Yes.
Oh.
That's a good one.
The 2018 Benedict Cumberbatch doing an American accent Grinch.
I didn't know he did a Grinch movie.
Yeah, that's still weird to me that he was the Grinch. It was on today at our niece's house.
And we were just like, oh, we have never seen this movie.
Yeah, it's kind of like a weird vibe, right? I don't really remember.
It is weird.
Yeah. What 1988 film starring Bill Murray is a modern-ish retelling of a movie we did earlier in this? Yeah, okay, you got it.
Noah's got it.
Scrooged.
Yeah, it's Scrooged.
Did you say that was your favorite?
That was one of the
Christmas
only
Carol?
other. No, I actually like Muppets Christmas Carol
Oh,
better.
okay.
That's the only other one I've seen. Like
That's
the
what
only
you
other.
said. Mm-hmm.
I trailed off because everyone
like it,
got it
though.
before I finished answering the question, in case you're wondering why I just started mumbling out there. Yeah. Scrooge is right. No, does anyone, like I said, not a lot of these really lend
Scratched?
themselves to Scratch. is
That's
pretty-
not bad.
Scratch is
I'll
pretty
take that.
good.
I'll take that.
I'll take it.
4, 3, 2. What Christmas movie stars Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad as dads trying to find a sellout toy for their sons? I think Greg got it.
Greg.
Jingle all the way.
Yeah, and that's what I really wanted to do, but everyone either saw it or would not respond to my messages.
I had already seen that
I'd
one.
seen it.
Yeah, I feel like it came out at a good time for us. That one has maybe some potential just because it has more words in it.
I got nothing.
No.
I feel like Jingle's already like almost a. I don't
You're
know.
almost there.
Cat
yeah.
toys.
Yeah.
Cats
right,
wear
cat
bells,
toys,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. What 2011 animated film depicted the story of Santa's two sons vying for the position of Santa Claus?
I have no idea. Oh, Greg.
Fred Claus?
No, but I
That was
think
gonna be
you're
my
in the right
guess.
general
Yeah.
area.
Never seen it, but no.
That was gonna be my guess.
No, I don't know. I don't know this one.
This one's Arthur Christmas.
I would not have got that one.
that
Okay.
one. I've heard of it.
That's, I think, the most obscure one here.
Yeah.
But it's still, I mean, no shots. I'm not trying to be mean to Arthur Christmas. I'm just saying. That was the one I thought you guys might not get. That's fine. So now there's 3 more. There was one that was kind of hidden with the other one.
Knew
So
it.
that's so you still got 3 chances left. All right, here we go. What 2003 Christmas movie sequel features Martin Short as the villain? So this is a 2003 Christmas movie sequel that features Martin Short as the villain. I think Greg's in there first.
Santa Claus 2.
Nope.
I just knew it was a sequel.
Santa Claus 3.
What's the full title?
Oh no! Jack Frost.
No.
Ugh.
It's like the other ones. It's a pun on Claus, even though the Santa Claus is also a pun on Claus.
It's not the Santa Claus, but like the different kind of Claus.
No, they're all
your
the
cat
Santa Claus.
The Santa Paws.
So all of the Santa Clauses are the pun of Claus, but this one has another Claus pun. Just fun with homonyms.
I don't remember.
It's Santa Claus, the Santa Claus 3, the Escape Clause.
Oh.
Ah.
Yeah. I know. You remembered that he does play Jack Frost in that,
I did
right?
remember that, yeah.
Good job. Good job.
I got
thought
that
it was
far.
Jack Frost in the second one.
No,
No, the second one is he needs to
get married.
married within 30 days.
Mhm.
While he's gone, Spencer Breslin makes a robot version of him that becomes some kind of horrible dictator fascist.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
weird.
That's
Like
So then
Futurama.
there's like a
Real
fascist robot version of Tim
right.
Allen.
Yeah, exactly.
Santa Clauses are weird. Which movie? This is a movie I haven't seen, but I remember the title of. Which movie tells the story of a couple who offend their neighbors by planning to take a Caribbean cruise for Christmas?
Oh, I've seen this, but I don't remember the title.
Ooh.
Opposite.
4 Christmases or something?
No,
Wait, what is it?
that one that's the one with the 4 Christmases on it.
I know this movie. I just
Is it a Hallmark movie?
No, it's a theatrically released movie. Which movie tells the story of a couple who offend their neighbors by planning to take a Caribbean cruise for
got
Christmas?
Jamie Lee Curtis in it, doesn't it?
This one I wasn't sure if you guys would
I
get
have no idea what this
either.
is.
But when you hear it, you'll be like, "Oh, I've heard of that before," but maybe you haven't seen it.
I have no idea.
Is this
No,
the one with
I've
Jamie
seen
Lee
it.
Curtis? Quite possible. But yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis is in it,
See,
as well
I know
as Tim Allen.
Oh.
You also got Dan Aykroyd in there. Emmett Walsh, famously
Oh,
mentioned in our Blade Runner episode.
Oh, I might know this one.
yeah, they don't decorate their house for Christmas, and all the neighbors get really angry, and then the kids end up coming.
Oh,
home.
it's crap. It's not like
It's like one of the youngest brother from
This one
Malcolm in the Middle seems to be
Does
in it
not
too.
sound familiar to me at all.
Christmas with the Cranks.
You got it.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Well, we got there eventually, so I am going to have to keep in all that dinner.
Just make it seem like he got it faster.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So last question. Winner take something. Which Christmas movie has the line "Christmas doesn't come from a store"? Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more.
The Grinch?
What's the full title?
Oh, The Grinch That Stole Christmas?
No.
What?
No, but
It's
like
not The Grinch That Stole Christmas?
it's more of like a pondering kind of thing.
No,
I mean,
you can figure it
you're
out.
gonna get the
You can
points,
figure it
it's
out.
The Grinch? I don't know.
It's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh.
Ah.
That's supposed to be one of those like Mandela things that people
Yeah.
can't figure. Yeah.
Yeah, because, in my head I was thinking
Mm-hmm.
it's just The Grinch That Stole Christmas.
And if there's other clauses or different kinds of names and stuff like that, I didn't verify any of these. I just really trusted independentlyhappy.com. So.
They
Sounds
can't
like a
be
good
wrong.
source.
Yeah, I didn't check any of these. I did it 20 minutes before I came here. So,
All right.
It's perfect.
Okay. Noah wins again. You guys keep losing to Noah,
He's great.
I am the reigning champion.
right? Didn't he win the Muppets one too?
Pretty sure.
Probably.
Yeah, I think so.
I will say I am the creator of that website. I'm the single divorcee.
He is independently happy. Good for you.
That's good for you, buddy.
And I have a Peloton treadmill, and it's great.
Oh no,
I killed
no!
my kid, and I'm happy about it. So
Now I'm independent.
Probably lift up that thing when you get home. Make sure there's no one under there.
It sucked my husband right down to hell.
The threshold of hell.
Speaking of Nancy Reagan, am I right?
yes. That was good.
I think I cut out everything besides that one reference to Peloton and Nancy Reagan.
Yes,
just
please.
there.
Just leave it.
Wow. Okay. Weird episode, but thank you guys. Just so you can check your app right now and just see how much we've cut out. The recorders tell me we are at 2 hours and 23 minutes.
Oh my god.
So final cut will probably be like the 2:15 mark.
Yeah. That's what I'm
I don't
thinking.
know if that's true. I think that was the definitive episode on National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. This is Late to the Movies, and you can find us on Instagram at late to the movies _pod on Instagram. Like I said, I don't remember if it's podcast or pod, but if you get to pod and it hasn't popped up yet, keep typing. It should well before that because you're already following, obviously. You can find our TeePublic store by Googling it. And thanks for being on, guys. I've been Ben. That's Noah, Ray, and Greg. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
And Merry
Sorry.
Christmas.
See ya. Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Play ball.
You inhaled. I thought you were going to do a bit or something.
Me?
Yeah. It
No,
seemed
I was
like
just
you were.
excited. It's Christmas. I forgot.
I'm gonna go watch Cats now.